From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
Good Friday morning. It's 5:30. Welcome to Montana This Morning. I'm Victoria Hill. So very happy to see you with us. And good morning to our friend Miller. Miller, was that
Making sound effects over here.
I didn't know if it was that or a marker lid coming off.
You can do it with me.
We
It's
caught
Friday.
it just in time.
just before we came on the air, I wanted to throw you off a little bit there. How you doing this morning, kiddo? Doing good?
Yeah, looking forward to the weekend.
Okay, cool. Well, I know a lot of folks working hard to get to the weekend. Just keep an umbrella handy just in case. We're looking good out there right now as we take a live look from the rims down across Billings. 44 right now at the airport, feels like 42. Humidity's at 68%. The dew point's at 34. Winds out of the north at about 5 miles an hour. You can see we do have some clouds moving in. No rain as of yet, but we do have rain in the forecast. Even some snow for spots up in the mountains and whatnot. 42 right now in Broadview. We've got 43 in Hardin. Down in Clark, we're at 45. 45 in Gardner right now. Highs today, 60s, 70s, even some 80s. Look at Belfry and Clark trying to get there. Even Hardin may try to crack the 80s today. It's that prefrontal heating before that cold front comes in and cools us down for the weekend. I'm going to go with a high today of 76 here in Billings. We're going to see the clouds, but we will warm up a little bit more than yesterday because of that prefrontal heating, like I mentioned. And then the rain comes in a little bit later on this afternoon, and we do have a chance of seeing some strong thunderstorms tonight, and we'll tell you about that with the main forecast. You had mentioned the Montana Women's Run. That is tomorrow.
Yes.
And I just want to give everybody a heads up. We're going to see clouds all throughout tomorrow morning and the afternoon, but right now only going with a slight chance of showers. So pretty much it's a pick 'em when you want to try to do your run tomorrow. And if you got any details or any information you want, you can go to that womensrun.org. And I know you're going to be doing it, right, Victoria?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm signed up. Got my daughter signed up, so we're gonna do the 2 mile, but it'll probably turn more into like 2 blocks before she says, "Mom, can you pick me up?"
Right.
So.
And I do that to my wife all the time. But take an umbrella just in case. But for the most part, fingers are crossed, you should be able to get your run in. Maybe a little bit of light rain, and that should be it for tomorrow.
Yeah. All right. Good planning. Thanks for looking out for us women's run
You got it.
participants. Thanks, Miller. I'll get to news. Our top story this morning, more gun violence in Billings. A man followed a woman home and tried to break in before he was shot by a teenager. Police say the incident began as a domestic disturbance between the man and woman at a local restaurant. He followed her to a home on the 1400 block of Avenue B and punched through a glass window on a screen door. That's when he was confronted by a teenage boy who fired several shots into the ground. The man started to leave but made another run at the house. The teen then shot the man in the leg. He was taken to the hospital with a non-life-threatening injury. President Joe Biden has a new vision for the great outdoors that could have a huge impact on Montana. He unveiled the America the Beautiful plan, which would conserve 30% of U.S. lands and waters by 2030. Many specifics have not been released, leaving some Republicans skeptical. Montana Senator Steve Daines says the plan does not resolve his concerns. He called it an effort to lock up lands. The administration's early goals are to create more parks and safe outdoor opportunities, support tribally led conservation priorities, and reward voluntary conservation efforts of ranchers, farmers, and forest land owners. Well, Mother's Day is this Sunday. It's a time to treat Mom to some TLC. But the reality is there's a need Mom has all year long beyond the pageantry of this special holiday. I spoke to 2 moms who reached out seeking help for their families, but what they got in return created a big change within themselves.
I was tired and exhausted all the time.
I was just running. It's like herding cats every day. You're just running.
These women might sound like they're talking about a hard day at a labor-intensive job, but the reality is they're talking about motherhood. Both were at a point where they knew it was time for help.
We were almost a year ago in July. We were in a very dark place. I was in a very dark place.
Reaching out of that darkness, she turned to the Family Tree Center.
A lot of us think we're doing the right thing by doing all and being all for our kids, when really we're not taking care of ourselves, and realize that then we can't take care of our kids if we're not healthy ourselves.
Thursa was introduced to the center through its parenting classes.
The moment that I walked into this place, I knew that this is where I needed to be, and that this was going to be a good place for my family. And it's changed my life. It has absolutely just changed my life.
The mother of one adopted child and guardian of 2 others, Thursa cared for 32 foster children over an 8-year period. Now she knew it was time to focus on more than her kids.
Taking a really hard look at yourself first, making sure that you're taking care of who you are. And if you are exhausted or in that place where it's just very dark and you're alone, this is the place to come before you have a crisis in your home, before your children are removed, before you're at a place where there is no turning back. This is the place to come and say, hey, I need help. And there's no shame in that.
Parenting's hard, and I don't care if you have 1 or 6, like, it's hard work, and in order to do a good job, you have got to take care of yourself, and you shouldn't feel guilty about it. Like, you need it. I need it.
Parents of 4 boys, stay-at-home mom Veronica and her husband Jeremy use the respite program. She drops off her youngest at the center once a week, creating a window of personal time.
So for me, it's actually made their lives better and my life better, and I feel better about taking that time. Having, like, I don't feel guilty about it anymore. Actually, as a matter of fact, I demand it.
I learned pretty quickly in marriage that leaving to go to work was actually easier than staying home with the kids. And so I know, like, my wife will say, like, I don't have a job, and that's not true. She has a very difficult job.
While these women were able to reach out and seek help on their own, sometimes that encouragement needs to come from an outsider looking in.
If you have kids, she's wore out. I mean, that's just a for sure thing. You have kids, she's wore out. And if you love her and if you care about her and you want her to be the best wife and best mother that she can be, encourage her to be a part of the Family Tree Center and use the resources that they have provided so that way she can get the rest that she needs so that she can be all that she can be as a mother.
To learn more about the Family Tree Center's classes and programs, you can visit familytreecenterbillings.org. And to all the moms watching this morning, happy Mother's Day weekend. In national news, demand for the COVID-19 vaccine is so low, at least 12 states are no longer ordering the maximum number of doses. 45% of the country has received at least 1 shot. The average number of new cases have fallen below 47,000 a day. That's less than a fifth of what it was in early January. The backlog of tax returns the IRS needs to process is going in the wrong direction. Nearly 31 million returns need to be processed manually. That's 2 million more than just a couple weeks ago. Some of the returns are from 2019 and could not be processed sooner because of pandemic office closures. That means people can expect delays getting their refund. This year's tax filing deadline is May 17th. And before we take a break, cameras were rolling when a Billings veteran took his first steps in 3 years. Don Naff served in the U.S. Navy during the Vietnam War. In 2018, he was diagnosed with infections in both of his feet, and doctors were forced to amputate. Don quickly began learning to use his prosthetics, and after years of daily physical therapy, he finally accomplished his goal of walking again.
This is really tough. You got to learn your balance. Your legs is your balance, your counterbalance. What you've done before, you have to forget it. It's completely different.
All he wants to do is walk. He just wants to walk. So to see him be able to do that again, it was pretty emotional. There was a few tears there. So pretty happy for him.
Don's next goal is to drive his 1923 T-Bucket again, but he says he'll settle for just being able